Hey everybody, it's Matt Powers. I'm a soil maker, I'm a seed saver, I'm a gardener, I'm a family guy, I'm a teacher, an author, and I love making soil because it makes me happy. And there's a ton of reasons why. So behind me right here is an area that I'm building soil. These are the 5 cousins, minus buckwheat. I didn't get buckwheat in quick enough in this area, but these are my soil builders. These plants over my shoulder are how I passively build soil. So you're like, that's crazy. I'm building soil by bringing it in and layering on new organic matter or bringing in compost, or maybe you're DIY home building a compost heap. Maybe you've got a worm bin. Maybe you've got a moldering compost, a static, compost that you're just adding stuff to. But all of those options, I actually practice them all. I even got a home biogas unit that helps us turn, our meats, our the stuff that you don't feed the vermicompost, we actually can digest in this unbelievable false rumen, essentially. It's a big digestion vat. And then the gas that comes off of it, we can actually use as energy or as fuel for fire. So incredible things are happening on this site. I love working with soil because I think fundamentally, on one hand, you've got the whole thing where it's our actual chemical signaling, it's our actual biology, our microbiomes internally are related directly to the soil food web, the microbiology of the soil. And then you've got all these incredible things that are being released inside of the soil. So that smell that you smell in the soil, that healing, Shinrin Yoko, that forest bathing experience comes from smelling that earth, that fresh, amazing, just so luscious, so rich. That's what I'm talking about. And for me, I think creating that, I think setting the scene for that, participating in that, experiencing that, all that feeds into that happiness, feeds into that chemical reaction that they're talking about in these studies where if you touch the soil, you'll have antidepressants and all this crazy stuff. But the reality is, when you are building soil, when you are doing things that are investing in your future, making the environment better, making the world better, improving the quality of your food, improving the taste of your food so it tastes better and better and better. These things have a magnifying ability. They draw closer to us the positive things in our life, the things that we cherish, the things that we love. So this makes it so we have a bigger garden, better food, better meals, better experiences, stronger bodies, stronger minds. We have greater resilience to all the different pathogens, diseases, and viruses that are always all around us and inside of us. So it's this epigenetic resistance that we get when we are actually reaching those maximum expressions of genetic health in our food, in our diet, and hopefully in ourselves. So building soil is something that makes me happy. It gets me outside all the time. I'm physical. I'm checking on all these different partnerships and processes. So right here, let's just start with this. This right here, this is amaranth and sorghum, both of which are C4 grasses. C4 grasses have this incredible ability to take down more carbon out of the atmosphere than any other plant. So it's a gene mutation that happened thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. And it happened at a time period where there was too much carbon in the atmosphere. And so these plants rose, and this genetic expression rose and spread around. You know what I mean? How it works that way, actually. These plants are amazing, what they can teach us, what they have been doing, how they've been sharing information among each other, across species, across, phyla. It's really incredible. So we've got the daikon radish. We get those flowers, those beautiful daikon radish flowers. They're making beautiful pods. They're collecting phosphorus, and they're also nitrogen scroungers. And so what they're doing, and they're going to rot in place. They're going to become compost, and all that phosphorus, all that nitrogen, they're going to now turn into bioavailable compost and nutrition through the soil life, breaking it down so that the next generation in here has much better soil, much more nutrient options, and just greater safety, greater soil structure. And then what else do we have here? Well, this primarily is the C4 grass and the sorghum. But in other areas over there and over there, we've got the beans coming in. So those are the classic, right? The beans. Everyone's talking about, we got to put the beans in for the nitrogen. But the more and more I've studied, the more I've learned, the more I've tested, the more I've learned that it's like certain beans, and beans are like seventh. When it comes to actual nitrogen levels in the plants that we're going to be chopping and dropping as a green manure, not just like when you clear off all the plant debris and then test the soil afterwards, because no doubt that beans have nitrogen fixation happening when they nodulate, but there's a lot more going on here. If you've got scroungers soaking up the loose nitrogen, the soluble nitrogen that's already in the soil bank, then it's going to cause the cowpeas and the other nitrogen fixers to pull that nitrogen out of the atmosphere and really the air inside the soil spaces in the soil. Because like soil's like half air. It should have that air in there so that it's aerobic, and it also has that soil structure so water can pass through. But then you've got the buckwheat, and the buckwheat is scrounging and stealing nitrogen from the cowpeas. It's not taking it from scrounging it from around. It's pulling it and stealing it from the cowpeas. And the cowpeas are going up to another level. They're going up to an entirely new level to compete with that. So when you combine all these things, the amount of nitrogen fixation, the amount of nitrogen brought into the system keeps exponentially growing and compounding. And it's through this process of building soil with plants that I start out every area, because I can't afford to just buy compost and soil and just bring it in by the yard, and make that happen. I've got to do something that works for me, works with my budget, works with my time, and throwing the seed down and watering it, every day, every other day, really makes a lot more sense. Especially when I can chop and drop it. And then this blanket of organic matter that you see here is going to make it so that after it breaks down, it's going to be a blank slate. So it's going to be lacking weed seeds, except for wind-blown seeds that happen to, come along the way. But this is really important. It's a blank slate, so that if you disturb it, you expose the weed seeds below that blank slate. Don't disturb it. But that blank slate, then you can plant in, and you really don't have that weed competition. That's something that I learned firsthand working in this way. I love it. So this is like mulch gardening. This is like sheet mulching, but this is in situ. This is living. This is, you just follow up with a rice knife. It's just that easy. So I love building soil, not just because, I get to just come in here in this little forest and then chop and drop and then, and see the kind of multi-story kingdoms that are inside there, with all the different life and everything. And speaking of that, I love building soil in such a way that feeds everyone involved. So the pollinators, I let everything go to seed. I let everything go to flower, so that it goes through its full cycle. It has its full life. And then we're chopping and dropping, and some of it's still green, but a lot of it's completely brown. So we've got the greens, we've got the browns. Does this sound like a compost recipe? Yes, it should. So this is powerful stuff. And because, some of these things are high in protein, and high in nitrogen, you're going to get that nitrogen for your reaction as well. So this in situ composting, this easy soil building technique is just like the tip of the iceberg. There's hot composting, cold composting, vermicomposting, there's EM. There's, anaerobic biogas, biogas generation. There's, the make soil bins. There's so much. And you could be using a broad fork and creating aeration if you got the compaction going on. It's a meadow creature. That's ultimately the ultimate. So wherever you are on your journey of soil building, keep going, because there's such reward, there's such excitement, there's so much fun and true joy and happiness in building soil. So soil building makes me happy, not just because all those studies, and before those studies came out, I was doing it and it was making me happy. Being able to stick my arm months after starting compost tea up to my shoulder deep, that deep in loamy rich soil, such that PBS came out and filled, such that generational farmers came out and checked it. I couldn't believe it. No one could believe it. And it is what happens when we partner with Soil Life, when we really turn to the soil and really start turning things on. And that's what I want everyone to be able to do. That's what I want. I want everyone to have this amazing relationship with soil so that they can create the life that they want, so that it can reinforce everything, because it is the linchpin. It's the linchpin in our environment, in our health, in our food, in our medicine. Everything is related to soil. And I want to spread that message. I want that message to get out. So get excited. I want you to get excited about soil. So let's make this the year that everyone really gets into soil, starts making those compost heaps happen, starts building the soil with throw-sow plants, starts partnering and making things happen in a regenerative, positive way. So I have a book, I have a course, I have a lot of incredible fun stuff that's about to start in relation to soil, and I hope you join us in that. The Kickstarter is coming out in a week from tomorrow, so stay tuned. I'm gonna be opening for the keynote at Soil Not Oil, so we'll be talking about this in depth. I'll be going live, so you gotta keep the angles right, Matt. I am so ecstatic to be able to share this message, to be able to join everyone in the regenerative movement in making the linchpin, the central focus, soil. If we can all become soil builders, soil makers, we'll make a happier world, we'll make a healthier world, we'll make a regenerative world. I'm Matt Powers. Grow abundantly, learn daily, and live regeneratively. And I'll see you soon. Subscribe, like, and share.